The clock on the nightstand blinked 2:47 a.m. in harsh red numbers. Outside, the wind rattled the windows. Inside, everything should have been still. In the corner of the little girl's bedroom, beneath the pale glow of a moonbeam, the doll began to move. First, a slight shuffle, then a soft giggle, then a high, delicate chime, like a music box winding itself up, sleepily at the noise. Her favorite doll, Rosie, a porcelain-faced, curly-haired thing in a frilly blue dress, sat propped on a shelf by the window. But now, Rosie wasn't on the shelf anymore. She was sitting on the floor, facing Emily. And in Rosie's stiff hands was a tiny wooden rattle, shaking softly back and forth, though no one was touching it. Emily sat up, rubbing her eyes. She wasn't scared, not yet. She thought it was a game. "Rosie," she whispered, "you want to play?" The doll's head twitched sideways, just a little, almost like a nod. Emily giggled and slid out of bed, crawling across the soft pink rug toward the doll. The rattle jingled harder now, and the music box chime grew louder. But as Emily reached out, the doll's hand dropped the rattle and grabbed Emily's wrist. Down the hall, her parents stirred in their sleep. Emily's scream, small and frightened, broke through their dreams like a shard of glass. Her mother, Linda, sat up first. "Did you hear that?" Her father, Mark, grumbled and threw off the covers. "I'll check," he muttered. Linda followed him. When they opened Emily's door, they found her huddled in bed, wide-eyed, clutching her blanket up to her chin. "What's wrong, sweetie?" Linda asked gently. Emily pointed at the floor. "Rosie moved," she said, lip trembling. She played with me." Mark chuckled, ruffling her hair. "It was just a bad dream, honey." "No," Emily cried. "She touched me. She grabbed me." Linda shared a worried glance with Mark, but smiled anyway. "Your doll can't move by itself, sweetheart. Dolls can't do that." Behind them, Rosie sat completely still, head tilted, blue glass eyes blank, mouth fixed in a tiny secret smile. Mark picked up Rosie and placed her firmly back on the shelf. "There, see? She's right where she belongs," he said. Emily stared at the doll, tears brimming. Something about Rosie felt wrong now. Linda kissed her forehead. "Try to get some sleep, baby." They turned off the light and left the door cracked open. Emily listened to the silence, her heart pounding. But then, a soft scrape and a faint giggle. Emily squeezed her eyes shut. In the master bedroom, Mark had just slipped back under the covers when they both heard it. Tap, tap, tap. Something light, scratching. Mark sighed. "It's probably the tree against the window." Then louder. Rattle, rattle, rattle. Linda sat bolt upright. "That's not the tree." A slow, dragging sound came from down the hall, like tiny feet scraping wood. And then, a thud, a giggle. This time it wasn't sweet, it was broken, wet, wrong. Mark grabbed a baseball bat. Linda seized a flashlight. They crept down the hallway. Emily's door stood wide open now. The nightlight inside flickered as if breathing. Inside, Emily sat frozen upright in bed, tears streaking her cheeks. On the floor in front of her, Rosie sat cross-legged, moving. Her arms jerked up, her porcelain head lolled side to side like a marionette. The wooden rattle spun by itself between her hands. "Emily, come here," Mark shouted. Emily bolted into her mother's arms. The flashlight flickered. And in that stuttering light, Mark saw Rosie's face change. The painted smile stretched. Cracks spidered across her porcelain cheeks, deep in those painted blue eyes. Something moved, something alive. Rosie's head twisted toward them. She stood up, smooth and confident, and then charged. Mark swung the bat, shattering Rosie's body into jagged porcelain fragments. But from the broken pieces hissed a black, oily mist, swirling violently in the air. The flashlight sputtered and died. In the dark, they heard it, a giggle, closer, right behind them. Linda scooped Emily into her arms. Mark grabbed Linda's hand and they bolted down the hall. Behind them, Rosie's broken pieces skittered across the floor, dragging themselves back together. The music box tune started again. Faster, manic. They burst into the living room. Mark fumbled with the front door. Linda clutched Emily tightly, sobbing. The black mist poured into the hall, swirling into a child-sized silhouette with twisted limbs and a broken, empty face. The door finally yanked open. They sprinted outside into the freezing night. Behind them, the house pulsed once. All lights flared, and then everything went dark. The music stopped. Only the wind remained. Later, wrapped in blankets at a neighbor's house, Emily whispered, "Why did Rosie want to play?" Linda hugged her tighter, voice trembling. "I don't know, sweetheart." But deep down, she understood. Rosie didn't want to play. She wanted to stay.